Okay, so we are on video 5, the last video in our So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur series. Thank you for those who have stuck it out. I know that some people have seen it not on YouTube, but they've seen it on other platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook. So if you've watched it, thank you for watching all 5 videos. If you haven't watched it, as always, now is the perfect time to pause it, catch up on the other videos, and then come back to this video. I appreciate the encouragement that I've gotten from some people who sent me messages, who've talked to me, and told me that the series has been really, really helpful. So that was the goal, and I'm glad that it worked, that it's helpful. Please feel free to connect, okay? Even though the series is ending with this video, we can always connect. We can always link up on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you know the spiel, right? So all of social media, I try to be as active as I can. I've spent the first 4 videos giving a lot of tips, a lot of ideas, and now it's time for action, right? So we're gonna make it short and sweet. The real work begins now. So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur is a series, but it's also a question. If you're really, really serious about being an entrepreneur, please believe that you can plan as much as you want to plan, but the work is in the doing, right? So taking the action steps that you need to take to get to where you want to get. So today's video is all about implementation. How do you take everything that you have heard in this video series or read in books or seen from other people? How do you actually move from just having this vision and this idea in your head to actually executing? So I'm giving 4 tips for moving from idea to execution. Number 1, create an accountability system. Okay, so a lot of us, had New Year's resolutions, and if your New Year's resolutions was a health and fitness goal, I'm sure that a lot of articles that you read suggested that you get a workout partner, an accountability partner. And the reason is because that people are more likely to achieve their goals when they have someone kind of keeping them in check, someone who's helping them out in that process, motivating them, calling them out if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Well, the same thing is true of your business, right? So you want to get an accountability partner. Sometimes that's a physical person. Sometimes that looks like a small group of individuals, maybe your most trusted people. Sometimes that looks like a business partner. Sometimes if you don't have anyone, you might want to join an online group, or you want to join some kind of network where you're getting the resources and you're being fed information. But tip number 1 is to create an accountability system. Why? Because it has a built-in motivational system, and you are committed. It says that you are committed to doing what it is that you said that you were going to do when you launched your business. Tip number 2 is to be smart. You've heard me mention this model before, and I will continue to talk about it because it works, right? And so SMART, of course, stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. This is the biggest difference between whether or not your goal is going to succeed or not. If your goal is good in the beginning, if your goal is good in the first place. If your goal is not good in the first place, then we have a challenge. So you want to make sure that the goal is smart. There's a difference between I want to double my company's revenue, right? That's a good goal. It's a noble goal. You can do it. But an even better goal is I want to increase my company's revenue by eliminating profit leaks or creating a monthly marketing campaign. See, the more specific you get, the better the goal is. And the better the goal is, the more likely you are to achieve the goal. Tip number 3 is to be flexible. So your idea will evolve. When P.E.R.K Consulting started, that's my business, it was just a nonprofit consulting company. Again, I was a sole proprietor working out of the corner of my apartment. And I was content with that. But part of being an entrepreneur and part of servicing a need for your market is figuring out that the market changes. The market changes, and so do their needs. And so as an entrepreneur, you want to be flexible to meet the needs of your target audience. So be flexible. If you are serious about 2016 being that year that you just kind of take the leap, I've already gotten contacted by some people who said, I quit my job already. And so when you're in a situation like that, you have no choice but to execute or to implement your plan. So just realize and put in the back of your head that the idea that you originally designed may not be the idea that you end up with, and that's okay. Because in my experience, 9 times out of 10, the idea that you end up with is far better than the one that you originally started with. The last thing is to create rewards. So you're creating rewards for yourself. You're creating rewards for your team. If you're a small business owner and you've already put your team together, you have people who are working on staff, people who are working as volunteers, who are working as interns. This reward system is great for morale, right? Because so much of entrepreneurship, I've said it before, I'll say it again, feels like an uphill battle, especially these first few years, after we launch. And so you want to create a system that rewards hard work. And so it boosts morale. It lets people feel like, man, we're on the right team, we're on the right track, we're actually doing some good things despite how many challenges we've encountered. So create rewards, and then for you yourself, create rewards for yourself. I'll tell you, and I'll be honest, one of the hardest things for me when I started P.E.R.K was work-life balance. Because I felt like if I wasn't working, someone else was working twice as hard. Or if I wasn't working, something was wrong, I was being lazy. And so, it took me a couple of years to kind of get over that and not be so hard on myself. But creating rewards is good, not just for your team, but it's good for yourself. It's good for yourself to push yourself to see not just the challenges before you, but it also forces you to see, man, I've accomplished some good things, I've reached some milestones, and that's what you need to keep going. If you started this video series in January and you had an idea and it's now, March, April, and the idea has fizzled out, there's no better time to pick the idea back up than now. Now is the perfect time for you to say, I need to achieve my goals. There's so many things that you can do. I told someone recently, the goal is to move from idea. No one knows what's in your head. And sometimes that's best. Sometimes it's best to just nurture the idea, create a full picture in your mind of what you envision before you start putting it out there, because the minute you start putting it out there, people hold you accountable. People start watching to see what you're doing. But there's no better time. If the idea has fizzled out, that's okay. It happens. Life happens. But get back on that horse. Start figuring out your next steps for implementation, because that's the pot of gold. The pot of gold isn't actually doing. Not just having brilliant ideas. This series has been so much fun. It's been fun because I'm new to this whole YouTube space, and so watching and going through the process of creating a video and then trying my best to edit it. Thank you for your kindness and not commenting on my editing jobs, but it's been a lot of fun. So I hope that it's been helpful. Just to recap those 4 tips again. Number 1, you want to make sure you create an accountability system for yourself, for your team, to gauge your progress. You want to make sure that your goals are smart. They have to be good goals to begin with. You want to make sure that the plan is good, because if it's not good to begin with, then the implementation doesn't matter, because you're implementing, a bad process, a bad goal. So you want to make sure that the foundation is good. Tip number 3, of course, to be flexible, recognize, get it in your mind, write it on a wall, write it on your mirror, whatever you need to do to remind yourself that the idea that you start with might not be what you end up with, and that's okay. Repeat it to yourself, that's okay. And be open to the possibility that the direction that you're going in may be 10 times better than what you originally envisioned. And then last but not least, you want to make sure that you create rewards along the way. Now, I emphasize this especially for people who are working on teams. If you're the leader, you don't just want to be the leader that instructs, that demands, but you want to make sure that people know that their hard work is valued. Okay. Again, this has been a lot of fun. Connect with me, please, on social media at Andrena_Sawyer. You can check out P.E.R.K Consulting for more resources, blog articles, books, things that we recommend to our clients. Let's keep the conversation going. And I had so much fun doing this YouTube video. I think that if I came across another topic or another series that I really like and enjoy, then I think I might do another one. So if you would like to see another YouTube video and you have a specific topic or a question that you want to ask, by all means, please leave it in the comments section, and I may just put out some more of these. Okay, thank you all so much. If you haven't, check out videos 1 through 4, and I look forward to hearing from everybody.